snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I am here today to do some graphic novel reviews. I have 5 different graphic novels to talk to you about that I have been really enjoying over the past few weeks, and I am going to get started now, so let's get into it. The first one that I want to mention is Island issue 4. You guys have heard me talking about this series before. It is basically a monthly magazine / anthology of different comic book illustrators, authors and artists who all come together, and they are allowed to write pretty much anything that they want to as long as it fits within this format, and it's just a complete collection of different people within the comic world who want to contribute, and it's put together by Emma Rios and Brandon Graham. So this issue has a lot of different people: Rock Romero, Robin McConnell, Farrell Dalrymple, Brandon Graham, Gail Bertrand, Addison Duke. This has some really interesting different art styles, as you can see. Because you're allowed to do whatever you like, you always get some really peculiar, very different styles of artwork. Some of them are in colour, some of them aren't, some of them are in tones, and some of the stories are really quite long, some of them aren't, so it really depends on who the artists are and what they want to do with their story. As you can see, this is a pretty long one. I really enjoyed Brandon Graham's story in this. I think he's just got a really wacky imagination, and it always baffles me. He also does loads of really tiny little jokes that are written in minutely small writing, so you have to kind of really stare at all the details to see what he's talking about. I think it's just such a bizarre story. I honestly could not tell you what's going on because I have no idea, but I love it all the same because it's just really entertaining. We also had this story, which is more sort of anime in style. I really like this one actually, thought it was really cute. Doesn't have any words, so some of them do, some of them don't. It's really a mixture of all sorts of styles, and yeah, I ended up giving this issue of Island 3.5 stars. It was really fun, had some great ones, also had a few I wasn't that into, but that's always kind of going to happen with anthologies, especially comic book anthologies, because I think everyone's tastes in different art styles is quite particular and quite unique, so there's always going to be a few I do and don't like, but I still think it's well worth picking this one up, especially since it is only $8, which is like £5, something like that, so really easy, cheap and nice to sort of dip into the comic world, and also great for finding new people who you may not have heard of before, so 3.5 stars for that one. Moving on, the next one that I have to talk to you about is called Briar. This is by Benjamin Reed and Chris WILDGOOSE, who do the Porcelain series, which I have the second one to talk to you about in a minute, and I loved the first one in that series. They are an independent duo. They basically publish under the publishing company Improper Books that they have put together. I will put a link to that down below, so you are more than welcome to go and check that link and look on their website. But I bought this because I had read Porcelain and really enjoyed it. This is a tiny graphic novel, like so small. It's basically like maybe 1 or 2 issues in a book, so it's really small. It's a retelling of the story of Rapunzel and Sleeping Beauty kind of in one. It's about this lady who is trapped behind a massive briar, and it's about all of these princes who are going to try and rescue her. But it's got some really odd, funny twists and some gruesome twists. There is a lot of blood in this, so again, if you don't like blood, maybe not for you. But I really like this actually. The artwork inside is very stunning because they are a great team of artists and writers. And I just think the colour palettes and the designs are incredible. There are some like really creepy teeth and things coming out of the brambles, so it is definitely an adaptation as opposed to full-up retelling. There are some monsters that they have to face, there are princesses. It's basically kind of a pun on a lot of the tropes that you see in this sort of fairy tale setting, and I really enjoyed it actually, much more than I was expecting to, which was fabulous. This is only part 1, I think they are going to be bringing out another one because it says to be continued at the end, so I will definitely be picking up part 2 when it comes out, and I would highly recommend that you check these guys out. Just go to their website and check them out because they are incredible. And I gave this one a 3.5 as well out of 5 stars, really likeable. Looking forward to seeing more. My only complaint really is that it's not longer because I kind of wish it had been like full length, but that's okay, I'll forgive them for now and see how it continues in the next one. The next one that I have to talk to you guys about is Lumberjanes Volume 2, which is Friendship to the Max. It's by Stevenson, Ellis, Watters, Allen and Lahayo, and this one I was so excited about when I heard it had come out. I didn't even know it had come out, and then I picked it up as soon as I heard. I really enjoyed this. Didn't quite enjoy it as much as the first one, I think mainly because the novelty of the first one being so fun and so exciting and so different had maybe worn off a tiny bit, but I still loved it. It was still really, really fun the whole way through. The vibrance and the colours of this are just great. The adventures that these girls have, they basically are at this sort of summer camp where all of these really weird creatures and crazy things are going on. We definitely got a few more things explained in this few issues, which I loved, and it was just a complete rampage and crazy story, but so much fun. Always enjoyable to read. Definitely one you can read with kids. It's totally PG and just such an enjoyable read the whole way through. So I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. Really, really liked it and would highly recommend the Lumberjanes series. I haven't read the next few issues because I've heard that they change artists, and I don't really like when things do that because it can really be off-putting. And I've heard from Amanda Eggle that she wasn't loving the next few issues, so I'm kind of holding off on picking them up for now, and I'm going to see whether I want to in the future when the volume comes out. So yeah, I haven't picked it up yet, but do let me know your thoughts on the next few issues after this if you've read them, because I would love to hear if they're worth continuing with or not. So, because I really like the series, so I wish it hadn't changed artists and stuff, because yeah, that would suck a bit if it suddenly all goes downhill. But I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen next, and I'm hoping that I will like the new art style and things, so tell me your thoughts in the comments. And now we come to the last two. These two, I loved both of them about equally, to be honest. They're both exceptionally good, and I'm going to just start with Porcelain Bone China. This is the second volume of Porcelain. It is again by Benjamin Reed and Chris Wildgoose. I have a little thing that came with it, a signed one, so I'll put that down before it falls out. I read the first one, I think a good few months ago, and loved it so much. And then this one only just recently came out. It is basically a continuation of the same character's story, but because of the events that end the last one, our main character has grown up a lot since the first book. She is now a fully fledged lady instead of a child. In the first book, we follow her as a child as she breaks in to this mansion and she gets into all sorts of craziness, makes friends with the person who owns it and things like that, and learns about the porcelain. And in this one, she is on her own. She is the one who is in command of things, and we get to see her as she starts to kind of unlock the potential of the porcelain, kind of get approached by various people who are not that nice, and also experience some of the emotional things in life for the first time. So I really, really, really loved this one. I was a bit sceptical that it was basically following our character a lot in the future from the past one. I was worried maybe I wouldn't like her as a lady, maybe I'd only like her as child. By the way, I'm saying child and lady because that is their name. Like, they are not named. We don't know her actual name. All we know is that she's called Lady and she's called Child. But I really, really loved the first one so much, and I was so worried that maybe this wouldn't live up to it because it was going to be a really different sort of age group and style of what she was doing, I guess. But it more than lived up to it. It was exceptional. The artwork, as you'll agree, is just so good. So good. I love it. And the story as well was fabulous the whole way through. So I think you should all pick this up. Again, I've linked the website down below so you can go there and have a look at where you can buy them. I think it's fairly easy to get hold of in the UK, a little bit harder to get hold of outside of the UK, but I do think they are trying to get them into American shops. So be on the lookout for these because they are fabulous. Also, it's very weighty, so I guess this one makes up for the fact that the other one, Briar, is really, really small. This one's quite a chunky graphic novel, so very, very enjoyable. Also, at the ends of these, you have a load of bonus content if you get the volumes, where you can see all of the sketches that Chris has done, and he talks about why he did things in which way, and it's so good, so interesting. So definitely one to keep your eyes open for and hopefully pick up because it's amazing, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, of course. And then finally I have Lady Mechanika Volume 1. Again, this just came out in November as a volume. I read it as single issues, but I had to pick up the volume when it came out because it is beautiful and marvellous, and I love, love, love this series. It's basically about this kind of semi-mechanical lady called Lady Mechanika, and she doesn't really know her history or her origins. All she knows is that she kind of woke up in this laboratory and she was part mechanical, and then she went on with her life, and I think she escaped from the laboratory too. In this one, we follow her as she's trying to find out more about her origins, where she came from, who made her, and she also sees or gets involved in this kind of case of this missing girl and goes on all of these adventures. And she is probably the best dressed lady I've ever seen. Every outfit that she has is exceptionally cool, and I want it so much. It's just gorgeous. Every chapter has one of her outfits on, and you can see that they are just so beautiful. So yeah, it's dark as well, because as you can see there's like claws and stuff. It's kind of dark in places, but oh my god, this artwork style is exceptional. Some of the pages, in fact most of the pages, are incredibly dark, so that gives you sort of the sinister tone, but it is just such a good book. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So happy that I've got the single issues on Comixology and also the actual volumes. So again, this is one you can pick up through Forbidden Planet. Definitely check this one out. It's by Joe BENITEZ and I love it. Oh, it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. And I didn't want to finish this. I actually dragged out reading these 5 issues, probably for the longest amount of time I've ever dragged out 5 issues, considering they were all out when I started. But I just didn't want to finish it, guys. It was so good and I loved it so much. I think Steverson is the artist as well. So there is a second story arc of this as well. This is the first story arc, which is just Lady Mechanika, and then the second story arc, which is only out in single issues as of right now, is called Lady Mechanika Tablet of Destinies, and that one, hopefully, I assume, will be coming out in a volume format at some point. I haven't read them yet, but I do own all 5 of them because I am super excited to continue on with the story, and very, very happy that there is more of the story. I think there will be more released in the future. Same with Porcelain, actually, I forgot to say. Porcelain will be having a 3rd volume coming out too, which makes me so happy that my 2 favourites of this video are both going to be continued on and on. So yeah, amazing, very steampunk, very flintlock, very fabulous, so fabulous, and kind of Victorian-esque, but just, oh, it's so good. So you should all check this out. Again, I've got a little signed copy of this one because I couldn't resist when I saw it. So those are all of the graphic novels I'm going to be talking to you about. Let me know if you've read any of them or if you want to. I hope I've encouraged you to pick up my 2 favourite ones because they are incredible. They made me so happy when I was reading them and I loved every minute, and the artwork is stunning. The story is fabulous, so pick them up if any of them, but do let me know if you've been reading any of the others or what else you have been reading that is kind of graphic novel comic format. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat.